Good morning, neighbors. It's time for a morning porch rant. Got a cup of coffee. Another nail for my coffin. It's getting to the point where the beard's going to change. I don't know which way it's going. All right. The topic for this morning is something we used to call strategic national reserves. There might be another name for it, but this was basically behind the scenes America planning for its future. So these strategic reserves include mineral reserves, oil reserves, food reserves. This is strategic planning done by a nation looking forward for itself. So why do I bring this up? These, like strategic petroleum reserves, that was designed to keep American oil, or keep oil available to America, regardless of what external forces were doing. Now, those reserves also include foreign countries' reserves, because we don't have all of the natural resources in America to survive. So that, long ago, was a very well planned out idea to try to take care of America in a time of emergencies. So what's happened to that is it's been bastardized. So if you can imagine, this is the management of the mineral wealth of a nation, and we're a pretty good sized nation, but we depend upon global supply chains. That is just the way it works. Your state is inconsequential. If your state burnt up, that supply chain would shift its materials somewhere else trying to sell them. So, states' rights. So that strategic petroleum reserve, back in the 70s and 80s, when we did have the oil crisis, basically shut down oil production in America. For decades. It slowed it down. We kept on doing test wells and a little bit of production just to keep the industry alive here in the Americas. And that lasted for a couple of decades, where the oil fields slowed down, didn't have much to do because we were getting those resources from the Middle East again. We've gotten past the oil embargo. So what that means behind the scenes is there is a very large organization as a part of our federal government that's supposed to manage our future and help towards that. It's not meant to manage the future of the corporations that are doing the mining, because honestly, we don't need those corporations. Those mines can keep on mining without some rich son of a bitch making decisions halfway across the world about the future of their country. For the environment, for money, for assets, for resources, for people's lives. So, yeah, that used to be a huge thing, and we don't hear about it anymore. It just faded away in time as wealthy figured out how to milk that system along with the rest of them for themselves instead of us. It changed, and the conversations about it changed. So there is a reason for a federal government. Our Constitution was very well thought out by men much smarter than most that I know. You can tell from the notes and all of the paperwork surrounding the creation of the Constitution how hard those people fought to keep the separation of ideas from reality. All right? So there's a problem. We are being played. We are being played big time. And it's hard to see because you're trying to keep food on the table. You hear people with a $500,000 a year paycheck crying because they can't get by. Well, they did it to themselves. And we did it to them because America and the wealth. Oh well, I'm going to stop it. We're almost at 5 minutes. Good morning, folks. Stay awake. Or while you are awake. I don't know what to do about this. It is the House and the Senate. It is no longer the presidency that is the major play in this. The House and the Senate write and enforce the rules of the presidency, his guidelines, and Dems didn't want it back. They want to manage the status quo and not the future. Shame on them. Damn, 13, 14, 15 seconds over.